So, Kamala Harris's campaign and the Trump campaign both have events today in swing states in the Midwest, except one looks very different than the other. The Kamala Harris campaign is having a rally in Wisconsin, and before it's even started, thousands of people have showed up to hear from Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz. Now, on the Republican side with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, representing the Trump campaign, had a press conference in Michigan today to talk about all the bad things that the Trump campaign sees in America. And he was speaking to an empty parking lot. So VP Harris and Tim Walz have this huge crowd. J.D. Vance has concrete. That's the difference here. So let's just start with the Kamala Harris rally that's happening in Wisconsin today. So here's a picture on your screen of the line of cars that is waiting to get into this rally. Now, keep in mind, this is hours before the event is supposed to start. The line, as according to a couple of journalists who are on the ground there, is over 2 miles long. The line of cars is over 2 miles long, hours before Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are even there to speak. That is remarkable. And we actually have some video footage of the line from a little bit of a distance of the people who are waiting to get in as well. So take a look at that. Yeah, long line, huh? And I have a time lapse of the crowd up close from a journalist named Adam Duxter, who is there on the ground as well. This line is huge. Take a look at that video as well. That is a pretty long line for rural Wisconsin, typically a place that is not friendly to Democrats and their presidential nominees, their senators, things of that nature. Typically, this area is far more conservative. And here's the interesting thing about the district they're in. They're in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It has a population of 70,000 people. It is currently represented by a Republican in Congress. And these are the lines that Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are bringing in at their rallies. These people in a Republican district are lining up to see our amazing Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate when they have Republicans in Congress, when they are typically more conservative. There's a movement happening here, folks. There's a movement happening around the United States. It's starting in Wisconsin with this swing state rally where VP Harris is showing up in just a couple of hours. There's a movement happening. People are excited about VP Harris and Tim Walz. They are excited to hear from them. They are excited about the policies, the campaign that they are running. They are not excited about Trump's insurrection, his crimes, his anti-freedom policies where he wants to further restrict reproductive rights. No, they're seeing this energetic and fun and just a campaign that they can enjoy with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And on Trump, it's so dull, it's dreary, it's always negative. They're always complaining about something. They're always bashing America. No inspiration from there. And you're seeing it in the numbers. We're seeing it in the polls. We're seeing it in the fundraising. We're seeing it in the volunteering. And now we're seeing it in actual rallies in places that should be more friendly to Donald Trump. This is not a place where Kamala Harris and Tim Walz should be able to get thousands of people to show up for this rally, but they are. That's a movement, ladies and gentlemen. This is something happening. There's something brewing in the country that's leading to this. Now, also, I have another video I want to show you. A journalist actually managed to catch up with a Eau Claire, Wisconsin resident, somebody who's going to this rally who lives there. And what she said is just incredibly powerful. It's just 30 seconds, but I think her words are really important to hear. So take a look.
To have the first stop in your hometown for Harris and Walz, what does that mean?
It means that Wisconsin is a significant place in the entire United States to help decide the future of this election and the future of our country.
To see all these people here, is that a sign?
I've never seen this many cars in Eau Claire. We don't have traffic in Eau Claire. And so today it's a hopeful sign that there's hope on the horizon and people are eager to turn out for that.
What's your name?
Catherine Emmanuel.
Take care.
Wow. I mean, that is seriously impressive stuff. She's saying like, yeah, I'm excited. I've never seen this many cars in Eau Claire. We don't have traffic. But since VP Harris is in town, since Governor Tim Walz is in town, people are showing up. Now, that came from journalist Eric Chalot. Amazing job with the interview. Really important stuff. But we have the local residents of this area saying, this is the largest event I've ever seen in our district in Wisconsin. That's remarkable. And I think that, what she said at the beginning there is also really important, that like Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are making the effort. Right? They're going to rural Wisconsin, which, as we mentioned, is not typically a place where Democrats are favored, not really liked, but they're making sure to reach out to every single voter, make sure that every American in all of these states know that their vote matters, that they are important, that they are thinking about them in their policy. They're not just saying, hey, only the Democrats are welcome to vote for us, only the Democrats we care about, and if you're not a Democrat, well then we don't care about your vote, go along your way. They're not saying that. They're reaching out to every single voter, doing their best to connect with every single American in this election, and it's just such an impressive campaign that they're running over there. One that's for all Americans, and not as famously as President Obama said, not for blue state Americans, not red state Americans, but all Americans. Seriously, an amazing campaign. You're not seeing this from the Trump campaign. You're not seeing any of this from the Trump campaign. They're pandering to their cult, their base. They're not talking to average everyday Americans. They don't care about Democratic voters. They're not trying to reach out to independents or anything like that. Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are absolutely. Now, people have already entered the venue as well. They are already waiting for Kamala Harris to be there and for Tim Walz to speak. They are not going to yet. There's still a couple of hours until the event is beginning, but they've already showed up. The crowd is packed. So here's a clip from inside of the venue, and you can just kind of see how large the crowd is. Easily thousands of people there. We don't have an exact head count yet, so we don't know the exact number of people who have showed up. We'll probably learn that at some point, but easily, just doing the eyeball test, thousands of people have showed up to hear from VP Harris and Tim Walz. This is mind-blowing. In a Republican district in Wisconsin, you have a packed house for Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz. And also, just moments ago, the last video I want to show you regarding this rally, it's just so powerful. The crowd just broke out into chants of, "This is what democracy looks like," and it also shows you the size of the crowd, which is now grown. So take a look.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. That's right, Oakland.
Doesn't that just give you goosebumps? I mean, isn't that so powerful? I'm watching that video and I have a smile on my face. Like you can feel the hope in the crowd. You feel good about America's prospects. I mean, what a powerful video. And you're damn right. That is what democracy looks like. That's the type of democracy that Donald Trump and JD Vance want to ignore, they want to get rid of. They tried to in 2020. All of these people voted in 2020 for Joe Biden or an independent candidate, whatever, and Donald Trump tried to ignore their votes. Tried to say, no, it doesn't matter. Let's throw out their votes. Let's keep the votes that went for me, and I'll win these swing states and try to illegally hold on to the presidency. That's what Donald Trump tried to do. That democracy we're seeing right here, the democracy we're seeing all over the country of people supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, supporting Tim Walz, that's the type of democracy that Donald Trump just hates. If people aren't voting for him, if people aren't supporting him, no. Their votes don't matter in his eyes. Their votes shouldn't matter in his eyes. But in our eyes, in the Democratic Party, you, me, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, we believe that democracy matters, and we believe that this is what democracy looks like. It's a fantastic thing. Now, as I promised you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are having their event in Wisconsin, this huge rally. But simultaneously, earlier this morning, JD Vance had a rally in Michigan. And I wasn't joking when I said he spoke to some concrete. So just take a look at this video from the press conference he had this morning, and you'll see what I mean. Take a look.
Daughter who were just enjoying their day here in Shelby Township, and you had an illegal alien plow into them and kill this innocent mother and daughter.
Yeah, Shelby Township, Michigan, swing state, very important state in this election. And JD Vance is speaking to a bunch of concrete. Just a bunch of concrete, golly. And here's a picture of that as well. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? Look at that. He's not speaking to anybody. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear from JD Vance. Nobody wants to hear from Donald Trump. Nobody cares. Unless you're in the MAGA cult and you worship these people, nobody wants to hear from them. And you're seeing that. Now, just look at that split screen. We have a 2-mile line of cars to get into the Kamala Harris rally. Thousands of people lining up in a district that has a population of 70,000 people and represented by a Republican. You have that on one side. And then on the other side, you have JD Vance speaking to a parking lot. You have Donald Trump sitting at Mar-a-Lago playing golf. Tell me, which campaign seems better to you? I think I know my answer. I think you know the answer too. Obviously, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are running a much better campaign, a fantastic campaign, a campaign that is focused on the people, a campaign that's excited, that actually wants to get out there and talk to people, and they have good policy that is exciting the people in turn. On the Republican side, Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care about talking to voters. He said before, I don't care about you, I just want your vote. That's what he said at a rally before. He doesn't care. He wants to be playing at golf at Mar-a-Lago all day, scrolling on social media, doing that. JD Vance just wants to be his lapdog while he does that, and that's what's happening. They're not out there talking to average Americans. They're not out there talking about the policy that matters. They're doing what they want to do. They're running the campaign as they want to run it. They're not, whatever. Yeah, Americans out there, women are struggling, having their reproductive rights taken away. We don't really care. That's what JD Vance and Trump are. Yeah, who cares? Oh, climate change is hurting the United States. Who cares? Healthcare costs? Whatever. That's their campaign. That's the difference. That split screen couldn't be more clear. And I'm excited to see the clips coming out of this Kamala Harris rally. If it hasn't already started by the time that you're watching this, I recommend that you watch it live. And if you haven't, if it's already ended, I should say, maybe watch the speech after. I think it's going to be a good one. So anyway, I'll wrap up the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe down below. I really, really hope we can get there. Of course, also drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.